Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check check 1 2. All right, shalom, and welcome to those on Jaw Radio. And let me try this one here. We can't have the same thing going through. Yeah, let me get this zoom up. Check 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 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check check 1 2. All right. All right, so sorry about that. Power outages again, but the power is back. Let's hope it remains. Can you hear me on Zoom? Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, so sorry about that. Oh, it's still streaming. All right, so I don't know how it's still streaming, but let's see how it goes. And welcome to those on Jaw Radio. Well, it's a good thing about the power cut. I forgot the radio. And yeah, we are now live also on the radio. Let me get this. Properties. Creator. 1 2. Check, check. 1 2. 1 2. Check. 1 2 2 2. All right, only hope that is good enough. All right, so let me continue. If we love the world, we cannot receive the deep things of the Most High. 1 Corinthians 2, verses 6 to 13. Howbeit we speak wisdom among them that are perfect. And we were saying that those who are perfect will be those who do not love the world. Yet not the wisdom of this world. You see it? There is a direct contrast between those who are perfect and those the princes of this world that come to naught. But we speak the wisdom of Yahuwah in a mystery, even the hidden wisdom which Yahuwah ordained before the world unto our splendor, which none of the princes of this world knew. For had they known it, they would not have crucified the Master of splendor. But as it is written, eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which Yahuwah hath prepared for them that love him, for them that love him. It says, if you love the world, the love of the Father is not in you. Therefore, those that love him, the things that he has prepared for those that love him, is for those people who have rejected the world. I want you to see, people, that there are two sets of believers. There are those sets of believers who are in a delusion, thinking that they are on the way to the kingdom. These are the Matthew 7:21 to 23 people who are waiting to hear, I never knew you, depart from me, ye workers of iniquity. And there are those who have rejected the world and those and who have the love of the Father in them. Two sets. And both sets are going to be thinking that they're on their way. But the only thing that those who are not on their way are not going to know that they have been deceived, because they love the world and the love of the Father is not in them. Therefore they shall be sent a strong delusion to believe a lie. Very, very sad. But Yahuwah hath revealed them unto us by his Ruach. By his Ruach. The Most High is not going to give his Ruach to those who love the world, because the love of the Father is not in them, so they're not going to get his Ruach. So those who have his Ruach are those who have rejected this present world. For the Ruach searcheth all things, yea, the deep things of Alua. For what man knoweth the things of a man, save the Ruach of man which is in him? Even so, the things of Alua knoweth no man but the Ruach of Alua. So, the Ruach of Alua has to be in us for us to be able to search the things of Alua. Now, when we are here, and I am listening to someone who is not, who loves the world, and who has the spirit of antimessiah in him, thinking that that person has the Ruach of Alua, and that person is going to think that they have the Ruach of Alua, then I am going to be misled. Yes? Because the deeper things of Alua are not going to be revealed to those who love the world. Now, we have received not the Ruach of the world, yes, because we do not what? We do not love the world. Because we do not love the world, we have not received the Ruach of the world, but the Ruach which is of Alua. Remember, if any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. If the love of the Father is not in us, then his Ruach will not be in us. That we might know the things that are freely given to us of Alua. So if we have someone now who has the Ruach of the world, they are going to be showing us lies. We are going to be deceived. Which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teacheth, but which Ruach HaKadosh teacheth, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. And remember, we cannot have Ruach HaKadosh if the love of the Father is not in us, and the love of the Father will not be in us if we love the world. So if we love the world, Ruach HaKadosh will not be in us. But the natural man, that is the man that loves the world, receiveth not the things of the Ruach of Alua, for they are foolishness unto him, neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. But he that is spiritual judgeth all things, yet he himself is judged of no man. So, we are here listening to people who are saying Yahusha is Yahuwah, led by the spirit of anti-Messiah. Yeah? And not known that we are being deceived. For who hath known the mind of Yahuwah, that he may instruct him? But we have the mind of Mashiach. What does it mean to have the mind of Hamashiach? Hamashiach did not love the world. So you cannot love the world and have the mind of Hamashiach. Impossible. And remember, Hamashiach gave us a condition. He says, abide in me and I in you. He says you cannot do anything unless you abide in me. So how can we abide in him if we love the world? It's impossible. So people, I am telling you what we're teaching you today. You have to somehow know and reject this present evil world. Simple. So how then are we following those who love the world? We are blind, being led by the blind. Matthew 15:14, let them alone, they be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. The Most High is speaking a lot about people who are teaching us, because he knows that this is the last run. We are at the last part of it. You have to know what you are doing, or else you are going to be deceived. You are going to be blind, led by the blind. Luke 6:39, and he spake a parable unto them. Can the blind lead the blind? Shall they not both fall into the ditch? That is what is happening to us on the internet today. People blind being led by the blind. Blind being led by these people who say Yahusha is Yahuwah and all of those things. Blind led by the blind. What we are going to show you today, how you know, how to figure out among us who are teachers, how to reject us who are teaching you false things. And I may be teaching you false things. Who knows? You evaluate for yourself. I'm not putting myself above anyone or any scrutiny. So, Because of that, we must be delivered from this present evil world. Why? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, Job 9:24. He covered the faces of the judges thereof, if not where and who is he? But 1 John 5:19 is very profound in that it says, and we know that we are of Alua, and the whole world lieth in wickedness. The whole world lies in wickedness. This is why we have to be delivered from this very present world. This is why we cannot love the world. Imagine the world lies in wickedness, given into the hand of the wicked, and we are loving it. It doesn't make any sense. When you get to know the world and get to understand, this is why people like us, we have to teach the evils that are in this world, that you wake up and know what is happening in this world. And know that evil is upon this earth, and know within yourself that you cannot love this evil world. Galatians 1:4. Who gave himself for our sins, that he might deliver us from this present evil world, according to the will of Alua and our Father. So it is the Most High's will that we are delivered from this present evil world. It is not the Most High's will, as the Christians say, that you prosper in it. It's not the Most High's will. It's the opposite. The Most High's will is that we be delivered from this present evil world. Not that you stay in it and you prosper, you acquire how many cars and how many houses and how many real estate and how much investment portfolios and how many business properties and businesses. That's not his wish. His wish is that we be delivered from this present evil world. So when people hear us speak about fleeing out of the midst of Babylon, the people were there, are there criticizing us. They don't understand. They don't understand the call. They don't understand the work. They don't understand what our calling is. They don't understand that this is a sacrifice, is a rejection of what we have. Trusting in the Most High to make us partake of that which is to come. That is what our lives are about. This world, this present world is not it. This present world is evil. We are to be delivered from this evil in order to partake of the good, the righteous kingdom that is coming. That's very simple. Now, when we have the love of Allah through Yahusha, we will have faith to withstand everything that is thrown at us. Now, to be delivered from this present evil world, it is not nice. There are a whole lot of different challenges, obstacles that will be in our way. But when we have the love of Allah in us, that is how we will be delivered. Hebrews 11, verse 6. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to Allah must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. So we have to please him through faith. So we cannot please him by just living. Just living. Many of us as believers believe that we just live. This is why he tells us to flee out of the midst of Babylon. It is faith. It is we making up our minds that we have rejected this thing. When we have faith, when we reject it, and when we move, we please the Most High. Romans 8, 35 to 39. Who shall separate us from the love of Hamashiach? Shall tribulation, or distress, or persecution, or famine, or nakedness, or peril, or sword? What we're going to show you here, when you have the love of Allah in you, nothing at all can deter you. Nothing.
Can take you away.
Nothing can take you away. Because that love, that seed abides in you. As it says in 1 John something. When it says that you cannot sin because the seed is in you. When you have the love of Allah in you, you will not think about turning back. You will not be having discussions and say, I'm thinking about giving up and I can't think about giving up. That is not in our vocabulary. Death. Till death do us part. That is what's in our vocabulary. If we are even to be taken to death, that's it. Nothing can take us away from the Most High. This is how you know that the love of the Most High is in you, people. You don't even mention that. You can't even think of being in the world. You cannot even think about not having Yahuwah. Because you know how empty and how worthless and empty and miserable and futile your life would be. So you don't even think about it. Because that seed has been planted in you. And when the seed has been planted in you, then your being cannot be comfortable any at all unless you are walking in Yahuwah's way. Let me start again. Verse 34. 35. Who shall separate us from the love of Hamashiach? Shall tribulation, or distress, or persecution, or famine, or nakedness, or peril, or sword, as it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long, we are counted as sheep for the slaughter. You see it? Death. For his sake, we are willing to die for his sake. So we don't think about being separated from the love of Hamashiach that brings us to Yahuwah. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of Yahuwah, which is in Hamashiach Yahusha, our Master. If any man love the world, what? The love of Yahuwah is not in him. So these who it's talking about are those who do not love the world again. Everything to do with our salvation, people, is for people who don't love this world. Everybody else who loves this world and think they are serving Yahuwah, you are in religion. You are not on your way to the truth. That is why it's people, when they say flee out of Babylon, it's people don't grumble and argue. How come you said this and how come you said this about Babylon? Who did this? You don't argue, you just move. Because the love of the Father is in you and you reject this present evil world. Hey. So nothing is able to separate us from the love of Yahuwah, which is in Hamashiach Yahusha, our Master. And in Hamashiach means the life that we live following Yahusha Hamashiach will be what glues us to the love of the Most High. So when we walk as he walked, when we live as his Son lived, then the Most High will be pleased with us, and that will make us have the love of Yahuwah in us. Yada Yahuwah. Let me continue. Now, it says the love of Yahuwah, which is in Hamashiach Yahusha. Let's get a little bit more of the love of Yahuwah, which is in Hamashiach Yahusha. Now, look at this very carefully. The love of Yahuwah is not received through the scriptures unless. We're going to look at a dialogue in John 5:37 to 41, I think it is, to 42. We're going to look into this a little more deeper, and we're going to look at Hamashiach, the scriptures, and Yahuwah, and the love of Yahuwah. John 5:37. And the Father himself, which hath sent me, hath borne witness of me. You have neither heard his voice at any time, nor seen his shape. And ye have not his word abiding in you, for whom he hath sent, him ye believe not. No. We cannot have the word of Yahuwah abiding in us unless we believe in Yahusha Hamashiach. The scriptures mean nothing to us unless we abide in him. And to abide in him, as 1 John 2:6 says, meaning to walk as he walked. Remember, we shared earlier that with the disciples, he spent his time in the open air. That is how he walked. Now, if the scriptures do not lead us to walk as he walked, then the scriptures is of no use to us. Because he said in verse 39, search the scriptures, For in them ye think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And ye will not come to me that ye might have life. So the scriptures are the instructions to life. But we cannot have life unless we come to Yahusha HaMashiach. You see it? I receive not honor from men, but I know you that ye have not the love of Alua in you. So we cannot have the love of Alua in us unless we accept Yahusha HaMashiach, unless we let the scriptures direct us to Yahusha, to abide in him, which means to walk as he walked, and he did not love this world. But even though we come to Yahusha, the scriptures are there for us to also to follow the Most High's commandment. So, the scriptures are to lead us to Yahusha, but it's also there to get us to follow the Most High's commandment. 1 John 5:1. Whosoever believeth that Yahusha is Hamashiach is born of Alua. And everyone that loveth him, that begat, loveth him also that is begotten of him. So, if we believe that Yahusha is Hamashiach, we are born of Alua. There we go again. We believe that Yahusha is the Messiah. He is the anointed one. He is the man who the Most High said to Moses that I will raise up a man like unto thee of thy brethren. This is Yahusha HaMashiach. If you believe that Messiah, the Most High, raised up this man, then you are born of Alua. If you believe that this man is Yahuwah, then you are not born of Alua. By this we know that we love the children of Alua when we love Alua and keep his commandments. So the scriptures lead us to Yahusha, but the scriptures are also there to get us to follow the Most High's commandments. 1 John 5:3. For this is the love of Alua, that we keep his commandments, and the commandments are not grievous. Therefore, if the love of Alua is in us, we will keep Yahuwah's commandments, as well as obey his son, follow his son. For whatsoever is born of Alua overcometh the world, and this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith. Let's look into that verse. So we believe that Yahusha is the Messiah. It says we are born of Alua. The people who say Yahusha is Yahuwah, they say, I believe that he's the Messiah. That's not what it means. A Messiah has to be a man like unto Moses. You cannot put a man, equate a man and say he is Yahuwah and say he is the Messiah. Yahuwah cannot be his own Messiah. Yahuwah anoints a man to be his Messiah. Now, if you believe that he is the Messiah, but yet still you say he is Yahuwah, then you have nullified it. You're anti-Messiah. You have not declared that he is the Messiah, because the Messiah must be a man anointed by the Most High. Now, when you declare that he is a man born of Alua, then you overcome the world. How do you overcome the world? You overcome the world in that you are now able to reject the carnalities of this world. You're able now to not love the world. Those who say Yahusha is Yahuwah, they are going to love the world. No two ways about it. Because they are not born of Alua, they will not be able to overcome the world. And this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith. So it is our faith that is going to make us believe Yahusha is the Messiah, and which will enable us to be born of Alua and to make us overcome the world. Who is he that overcometh the world but he that believeth that Yahusha is the Son of Alua? Who is he that overcometh the world? But he that believeth that Yahusha is the Son, not the Father. So if you believe that he is the Father, then you will not overcome the world. That's what it's saying. Simple ABC. Revelation 14:12. Here is the patience of the saints. So this is it. You believe in Yahusha and you obey Yahuwah. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Allah and the faith of Yahusha. It is keeping the commandments of Yahuwah and having the faith of Yahusha. That is important. But we must also keep Yahusha's commandments. So you see, when you're born of Allah, you will believe in Yahusha as the Messiah. Yes? You will not love the world. You will obey the Most High's commandments. And you will also keep Yahusha's commandments. 1 John 2:3. Many people do not know that in 1 John 2:3 onwards it's speaking about Yahusha's commandments. People hear the word commandment and think that the commandment is limited to 10 commandments. Not so. Anyone can give a commandment. It is even spoke about Moses gave commandment. Joseph gave commandment. All right? 1 John 2:3. And hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments. This is speaking about Yahusha. He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar. But whoso keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of Allah perfected. Hereby know we that we are in him. So here it goes now. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. But if we keep the word of the Messiah, then the love of the Most High is perfected in us, because to keep the word of Yahusha, you have to reject this world. Because Yahusha rejected this world, and Yahusha did not love this world. So if we keep the word of Yahusha, we too will not love this world, and therefore the love of the Father will be perfected in us. Eh? We cannot love this world, people, and the love of the Father be perfected in us. These prosperity things that these people are teaching about money, 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 it's a lie from Satan himself. 1 John 2:6. He that saith he abideth in him ought himself so to walk, even as he walked. That's it. So when we walk as he walked, then the love of the Father will be perfected in us, because his walk was a walk of humility, a walk of nothing. Foxes have holes, and birds of the air have their nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. That is the walk that we need to walk, to have everything perfected in us, to get to know and understand his word. And that is why I'm telling you, many people in this world are not getting the truth of the Most High's word, because they are in religion, because they don't understand this, because they don't reject this world. I tell people, you cannot be staying in the midst of Babylon and teach me. And this is not, I'm not boasting or anything, I'm just telling the truth. Because I understand these things and understand that the Most High gives according to what you give. If you make sacrifice, the Most High will reward you. If you give up things for the Most High will give you more than someone who has not given up anything. So if you remain in the midst of Babylon and remain that you're staying there and continue your life and loving it, don't think that the Most High is going to come and give you thing to teach us and evaluate us and say, oh, just a word. Oh, just a word. Oh, that guy there, he talks such foolishness and this and that. The Most High is not going to give you. What he's going to give us are things that you might not be able to understand, because we just looked at 1 Corinthians 2 and showed you that if you love the world, the Most High is not going to give you the deeper things of Allah. So the love of Allah through Ruach HaKadosh is going to come to us. I'm telling you, listen to this carefully. It's a lot of different pieces of the puzzle that come together. But at the end, I hope that you see the different pieces coming together, how it is comes to perfection, and how it makes you understand what we teach, and yet you understand the validity and the truth in that which we speak. Romans 5, verses 1 to 5. Romans 5, verses 1 to 5. All right, where am I good? Yes. Therefore, being justified by faith, we have peace with Allah through our Master Yahusha HaMashiach. So through our faith now, we can have peace with Allah. What does faith have to do with loving the world? I tell you, it's a whole lot of different pieces, people, that come together. When we love the world, we are going after our carnal nature. Can you turn on the light, please? Let me turn on this light. Sorry about that. And this one. Where's the other one? Yeah, put it up. Yeah. When we love the world, we are actually satisfying our carnal nature. But when we have faith, faith puts us above our carnal nature. Let me see if this is too bright. It's all right. Faith puts us above our carnal nature and makes us able to reject the world, because we are believing in that which we cannot see. When we love the world, we are believing in that which we can see and loving that which we can see. When we have faith, it is belief in what we cannot see. By whom also, speaking about Yahusha HaMashiach, by whom also we have access by faith into his favor, wherein we stand, and rejoice in hope of the splendor of Allah. And here we go again by telling you that when you reject the world, when you're talking in the word and the way of the Most High, that you will have to go through trouble. And not only so, but we exalt in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience experience, and experience hope, and hope maketh not ashamed, because the love of Allah is shed abroad in our hearts by Ruach HaKadosh, which is given unto us. There we go, we have the third piece of the puzzle. We spoke about Yahuwah, now we are speaking about Ruach HaKadosh. It is Ruach HaKadosh that is shed abroad in our hearts that makes us have the love of the Father in us. And we see what lets us keep Ruach HaKadosh is all of these troubles, tribulations, patience, experience, hope, all of those things that get us to have peace with Allah, to have the Ruach of Yahuwah dwelling in us. So through the love of Allah, through Yahusha, we will receive life eternal through the Ruach of truth. We're coming into truth now. This is why I never wanted this thing to be disturbed, because there's so many pieces together. I only hope you are able to follow. So the love of Allah that we receive will now lead us to eternal life through Yahusha HaMashiach. So eternal life begins with what? Denying ourselves, so that we do not love the world. Simply. And if we do not love the world, the love of the Father will be in us. Yes? But in all of this, we have to ensure that we confess that Yahusha is the Messiah. He is the Son of Allah. And we do not confess that Yahusha is Yahuwah. Nor listen to anyone who confesses that. So, John 17:3, and this is life eternal, that they might know thee, the only true Allah, and Yahusha HaMashiach, whom thou hast sent. John 14:6, Yahusha said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. No, we are talking about truth now. We are talking about truth. So in speaking about truth, we have to speak about the spirit of truth, the Ruach Amat. So truth is in Yahusha Hamashiach because he is the truth. But, Deuteronomy 32:4, he is the rock. Yeah. He is the rock. His work is perfect. For all his ways are judgment, and a lure of truth, and without iniquity, just and right is he. People, Yahusha is truth. Yahuwah is truth. We have to be in truth in order to have fellowship with the allure of truth and our Messiah of truth. We have to be in truth, and we cannot be in truth if we love this world. Because if we love this world, the love of the Father is not going to be in us. And if the love of the Father is not in us, he will not give us the deeper things of the Spirit so that we can understand the things that are freely given of him. In other words, we cannot have fellowship with truth if we love this world. Anyway, let me continue. So we have the Son who is truth, we have the Father that is truth, and now we have the Ruach of truth. John 16:13. Howbeit, when he, the Ruach of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. There we go. Yahusha the truth, the Father the truth, and he gave us the Ruach of truth to do what? To guide us into all truth. So it is a fellowship of truth that perfects us unto eternal life. It is a fellowship of truth that guides us and guards us into life eternal, that they might have fellowship with thee. And this is manifested in John 17, when he says that they all be as one. This just came to me a while ago. The fellowship, John 17. John 17. Verse 20. Neither pray I for these alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word, that they all may be one. This is oneness. In truth, no lie. Truth. And you cannot be in truth. You cannot be in truth if you love the world. You want me to say it again? If you love the world, the love of the Father is not going to be in you. If the love of the Father is not in you, he's not going to show you the deeper things of Alua, which you need to come to his truth. So you cannot have fellowship with him or with his Son. And if you do not believe that his Son came as the Messiah, then you will not be born of Alua. If you are not born of Alua, you are not able to overcome this world. If you are not able to overcome this world, you cannot have fellowship in truth. So those people who are saying Yahusha is Yahuwah is very serious. That is why we are on it every week. It is a suicide mission to say Yahusha is Yahuwah. Let me continue. That they all may be one, as thou, Father, art in me and I in thee, that they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that thou hast sent me, the Son in truth, the Father in truth, the Spirit of truth guides us into all truth. We are in truth. We have fellowship with the Father, with the Son. We have eternal life. None of that can be achieved through loving the world. None of that can be achieved by saying Yahusha is Yahuwah. And none of that can be achieved by loving this world. So the Ruach of truth will come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak, and he will show you things to come, which shows that the Ruach, the Spirit of truth, is the conduit. He is the channel through which the Father and the Son speaks. So whatever the Ruach hears, he speaks. And he speaks to us truth, so that we can have fellowship with truth, and the Son is the truth, and the Father is the truth. John 4:23. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshippers shall worship the Father in Ruach and in Amat, in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. Alua is a ruach, and they that worship him must worship him in ruach and amat, in spirit and in truth. This is eternal life. No eternal life for those who love this world. None. You are in religion. If you're not willing to reject this world, you are not ready. If you're a call to flee out of the midst of Babylon and you're you're not ready. That is why I tell people this flee out of Babylon is not for everyone. If you go back to the assembly of Philadelphia, it says the open door. It says, I know thy works. So you have to have the works to qualify to go through the open door. To free yourself and to qualify to not go through the tribulation, great tribulation that is coming on the earth. You have to be those who are rejecting this world. So there is a ruach of error that is sent to throw us off from all of this that I just said. And that is the ruach of antimessiah, that the world calls the ruach of antichrist. That is the ruach that is sent to throw us off. That is the ruach of error that is going to cause us to err from all of this. Satan's task is to get us away from what all that I just said. And he does this to the spirit of Antichrist, the same spirit that says Yahusha is Yahuwah. The same spirit that is speaking about this lunar Sabbath. The same spirit of anti-messiah that is sweeping this world right now, preparing for the revelation of the antimessiah. The reason this is happening at this time, people, we are in the fourth kingdom of Daniel. They are setting up the number of his name. They have already given the mark of the beast. The number of his name is that digital identity that they are going to be coming with. When they come with that and they tell everyone, you have to take this number, or else you cannot access your bank account. You cannot do any business with the government. You cannot this, you cannot that. What are we going to do? So this is when the anti-messiah now, that they call the antichrist, is going to be ruling this new world order, one world kingdom. So they are setting up the kingdom, preparing the way for the anti-Mashiach to rule. Because of that, the spirit of anti-messiah is rampant throughout the world to prepare people to accept the anti-messiah. Now, to accept the anti-messiah, you have to accept a man as the Most High. So when the anti-messiah comes and he sits and says, I am the Most High, those who have been conditioned to say Yahusha is Yahuwah, and then he starts to do his miracles and starts to do all sorts of things, even doing things in the sky, making the sun shine in the night and all of those things. They're going to say, man, surely this is Yahuwah. But we who know that Yahuwah is not a man, that he should lie, and if he comes, his spirit is going to be in a man, and he's not going to declare that he is Yahuwah on this earth. We who know what is promised to all of this, we are going to say, foolishness. This is an anti-Messiah. And the other people are going to be saying, no, he's the Messiah. He's Messiah. We're going to say, no. And he's going to be doing miracles and all sorts of things. And those people run down miracles like Christianity. You know, the hallmark of Christianity is miracles. Are you doing miracles before they come to your church? I was here, remember Armstrong was telling us that that's what they did. They moved from church to church. Oh, there are miracles in this church. Yes. And they would run to the church to see the miracles that are there. And
an anointing of breakthrough.
And what?
An anointing of breakthrough.
Yes. So those things now, they're going to be seeing all sorts of miracles. They're going to say, surely this is Yahuwah. This is what's going to happen. So test the Ruach. Again, we tell you, believe not every Ruach. Try the Ruach, whether they are of Alua. For many false prophets are gone out into the world. We keep telling you, people, Try me if I'm a false prophet. Test me. Hereby know we the Ruach of Alua. Every Ruach that confesseth that Yahusha HaMashiach is come in the flesh is of Alua. You hear how many times they're telling you? So that you get this in your mind. And you never forget. And every Ruach that confesseth not that Yahusha HaMashiach is come in the flesh is not of Alua. And that is that Ruach of antimessiah. So this is that Ruach of error. That Ruach is the Ruach of Hasatan, the prince of error, that is going to cause you to err so that you cannot be in truth, so you cannot have fellowship in truth with the Hamashiach of truth and with the Father of truth, Yahuwah Sabaoth. So, those who are of Alua do not love the world. Those who are of Alua will overcome the Ruach of error. Let's look at the Ruach of truth versus the Ruach of error. The Ruach of truth versus the Ruach of error. 1 John 4:4. We looked at it before, didn't we? Yeah, we looked at it before. They are of the world, therefore they speak of the world. All right. So rejecting the world allows us to live in integrity of heart. We're going to go to the book, what is it? Reuben, the testimony of Reuben. No, the testament of Issachar, chapter 4, verses, that's page 43. Page 43, testament of Issachar, verses 4:1. Now listen to me, children, and live in integrity of heart, for in it I have observed everything that is well-pleasing to Yahuwah. What are we looking at here? Rejecting the world allows us to live in integrity of heart. Without our rejection of the world, we cannot live in integrity of heart. Because this world is wicked, this world is evil. We cannot live in integrity of heart if we love the world. We will have to do some changes, do something in order to facilitate ourselves in this world. But if we reject it, we can live in right standing before the Most High. The genuine man does not desire gold. Here we go now, the love of this world. The genuine man does not desire gold. He does not defraud his neighbor. He does not long for fancy foods, nor does he want fine clothes. He does not make plans to live a long life, but awaits only the will of Alua, of Elohim. Awaits only the will of Elohim. And the Ruach of error have no power over him, since he does not include feminine beauty in the scope of his vision, lest by allowing distraction he might corrupt his mind. So, put feminine beauty aside. When you reject the things of this world, there is nothing that will distract you, because you have no lust that is luring you away from the Most High. So you are able to live in integrity of heart by rejecting this world. The spirit of error has no power over you. So this is how you can walk in righteousness, people. When you reject this world and the love of the Father is in you, you have the ability to walk in righteousness, because the spirit of error will have no power over you to be bringing you into error. Envy will not penetrate his thinking. No malice dissipates his soul. No avarice intrudes upon his integrity. Why? If you don't love the world, who are you envying? If you just consider yourself a slave of the Most High, what envy? You don't desire anything of this world. Who are you envying? Who are you going to have malice against because you don't care for the things of this world? No avarice intrudes upon his integrity. How are you going to be greedy? And you don't care for this world. Oh. For he lives by the integrity of his soul and perceives all things by the rectitude of his heart. So it's by the righteousness that is in our heart. That is how we live. Making no place for an outlook made evil by this world's error. So if we don't love the world, this world's error cannot give us an evil outlook. In order that he might envision no turning aside from any of Yahuwah's command, this is how we can obey the Most High when we reject the world and walk in integrity of heart. You cannot walk in integrity of heart if you love the world, people. I'm very sorry. So let's understand the spirit of error. Let's go to the Testament of Reuben, chapter 2, page 8. Let's understand the spirit of error. And now give heed to me, my children, concerning the things which I saw during my time of penitence, concerning the 7 ruachoth of deceit, the 7 spirits of deceit. For 7 spirits are established against mankind, and they are the sources of the deeds of youth. And 7 other ruachoth are given to man at creation, so that by them every human deed is done. So there are 7 spirits that are given to us when we were born. And then there are 7 evil spirits that detract us from the path of righteousness. So let's look at the 7 good spirits that we were given. First is the ruach of life, with which man is created as a composite being. So with the first spirit, man is created as a composite being, which means he's made up of many different facets. The second is the ruach of seeing, with which comes desire. So the eyes make us see so that we have desire. The third is the ruach of hearing, with which comes instruction. The fourth is the ruach of smell, with which is given taste for the drawing air and breath. The fifth is the ruach of speech, with which comes knowledge. The sixth is the ruach of taste for consuming food and drink. By it comes strength, because in food is the substance of strength. The seventh is the ruach of procreation and intercourse, with which comes sin through fondness for pleasure. For this reason, it was the last in the creation and the first in youth, because it is filled with ignorance. It leads the young like a blind man into a ditch, and like an animal over a cliff. Spirit of procreation and intercourse. Dangerous ruach, that is. Now we're going to see the ones that, in addition to all, is an 8th ruach, sleep, with which is created the ecstasy of nature and the image of death. With these are commingled the ruach of error. So guess what? We are given life. And with life is mingled the spirit of error. So the spirit of error is mingled with our life to get us into error with all of the things that we were given at birth. The spirit of error there mingles with everything, with our hearing, our smelling, our seeing, our desires, and brings us into error. Now let's look at the spirit of error, how it is composed. First, the ruach of promiscuity resides in the nature and the senses. So that's our desire to be promiscuous. And this spirit of promiscuity is what is being tapped by those today who are preaching what do you call it? Prodige. What do you call the thing again? With several wives. You know what I mean. Brain freeze at this time. That's those who are preaching this and saying, oh, the Most High wants us to have multiple wives. Not at this time. This is a time when we have to be shedding, when Hamashiach said, those who are married be as though they are not. Because in order to shoulder righteousness, in order to walk in righteousness, yes, we have to be able to shed the carnal nature of us all. A second ruach of insatiability in the stomach. A third ruach of strife in the liver and the gall. A fourth ruach of flattery and trickery, in order that through excessive effort one might appear to be at the height of his powers. A fifth ruach of arrogance, that one might be boastful and haughty. These are all the ruach of errors, right? A sixth ruach of lying, which through destructiveness and rivalry handles his affairs smoothly and secretively, even with his relatives and his household. The ruach of lying. Lying lips is an abomination to the Most High. A seventh ruach of injustice, with which are thefts and crooked dealings, in order that one might gain his heart's desire. For injustice works together with the other ruachot through acceptance of bribes. And thus you can read these for yourselves. We cannot go into detail, it will take too much time. And thus every young man is destroyed, darkening his mind from the truth, neither gaining understanding in the Torah of Elohim, nor heeding the advice of his fathers. Just this was my plight in my youth. So when we as youth, when we as young people, we don't pay attention to these things and we just do whatever our hearts desire, we will be destroyed and we will not be able to walk in the righteousness of Yahuwah. So those young people who are listening to this, even my daughter Ziona, listen to this. You need to go and read this by yourself and understand that the spirit of error is there in your youth. Its main desire is to get you into error through these desires that are in you that you do not understand. Verse 9, and now my children, love truth and she will preserve thee. You see this? Love truth and she will preserve thee. Remember we said the spirit of truth guides us into the truth of Yahusha, which guides us into the truth of Yahuwah. Love truth and she will preserve you. Give heed to the words of Reuben, your father. So verse 9 tells us that truth is the solution. Truth. But you cannot access truth if you love this world. So in comes the spirit of antimessiah, the spirit of Satan, to war against truth. 2 Thessalonians 2, verses 7 to 12. This is what you're talking about, means. 2 Thessalonians 2. In comes the spirit of antimessiah to war against the truth. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. So the spirit of anti-Messiah is already working. But the Most High allows the spirit of anti-Messiah until it is time for the anti-Messiah to be presented to us, and then he be taken out of the way when he has served his purpose to divide the people of righteousness from the people who follow the spirit of anti-Messiah. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom Yahuwah shall, the Master, Yahusha, shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him, whose coming is after the working of Satan, this is the anti-Messiah now, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth. They will perish because they do not love the truth. It is truth that saves us. We have to have an insatiable desire for truth. We cannot receive truth if we love the world. Because the antimessiah spirit works through the world, works through our love of this world. So we have to reject this world in order to access truth. Because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. So no salvation for those who do not love the truth. No salvation for those who love the world. And for this cause, Allah shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. Can you imagine? The Most High is sending us a strong delusion, a deception, that we believe a lie. When the Most High sends this deception, we can't come out of it. That they all might be damned, who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. So they continue to love the world. They continue to say Yahusha is Yahuwah. No matter how we put it out, on our channel, Just the Word Shorts, we have done maybe about 20 videos now explaining Yahusha is Yahuwah as a fallacy. And they refuse. One video, every video that you do now is a best video. They must see it now. Then you see them come up with all sorts of... And then another video, another inspiration comes up, and you put it out and you say, yes, they must see it now. But guess what I'm noticing? The more you put them up, the less of them you see. The last one we did, I and my father are one. Not one of them commented on it. Not one of them. Yes? So it is the truth that we must seek, not religion. Truth. So, the importance of the truth, it is that erring from truth leads to death. When we err, when we follow lie, it leads to death. Let's read James 5:19-20. Brethren, if any of you do err from the truth, and one convert him, let him know that he which converteth the sinner from the error of his way, shall save a soul from death. That means the error that the sinner was on, the path of error that the sinner was on, was leading him to death. When you convert him from the error, you have saved him from death. Therefore, erring from the truth leads you to death. So if the adversary gets us to be in sin through the error of our ways, he has victory over us. He has gotten us to be on the path of error, which leads us to death. That is why we have to strive for truth. But there is no truth if we love the world. None. You are going to be led into error. You are going to be caused to err. The spirit of antimessiah is going to wrap you up and lead you into death. So the spirit of truth sends out false prophets and false teachers who, by the way, love the world. So that is why we're telling you, you there on social media, on YouTube, listening to these Yahusha is Yahuwah people, simply because you might hear them say a good teaching, and you might hear some few good teachings from them. Yes? And you say, whoa, this man, strong delusion, because he's going to throw you a curveball. He's going to bring out something that's going to totally destroy. He's going to bring you into confidence. 9 good teachings and then 1 teaching that's wrapped you up after you are now convinced that this man is the truth. That's why I say test us, people. Test us carefully. Test us to make sure that we are of Yahuwah. So the Ruach of truth sends out false prophets and teachers who love the world. 2 Peter 2 verse 1. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the master that bought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. What do you see highlighted in that? Even denying the master that bought them. This is talking about now those who do not believe that Yahusha is the Messiah. Those who say Yahusha is Yahuwah. These are those who are denying the master, because they are denying him as the Messiah. And notice what it says. They're going to bring themselves what? Swift destruction. It's a damnable heresy to say Yahusha is Yahuwah. And many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be even spoken of. So when we are here guiding people, those of us who believe Yahusha is the Messiah, that he is the son of Alua and not Alua, when we are trying to guide you on the way of truth, it says they are going to be used by reason of whom? They are going to be used to speak evil of the way of truth. So the truth that we are speaking, those of us who believe that Yahusha is the Messiah, they are going to be speaking evil of it. So these people now are people who love the world, because it says, and through covetousness shall they with feigned words make merchandise of you. They love the world, they love money. They want to exploit you for what you have. That is why they have so many different channels of receiving money on Facebook, on YouTube rather, and they monetize their channels in order to make merchandise of you, whose judgment now of a long time lingereth not, and their damnation slumbereth not. So going back to 2 Peter 2:1, which tells you about the false prophets that are denying the master that bought them, we match that with 1 John 2:22, which says, who is a liar? But he that denieth that Yahusha is the Messiah. He is antichrist, antimessiah, that denieth the Father and the Son. You see that verse there? Let's look at it. If you deny that Yahusha is a man, a Messiah in whom was the Father's Ruach, if you say Yahusha is Yahuwah, you deny that he is the Messiah. Point blank. It says you are anti-Messiah, you are antichrist. But it also says that you deny the Father and the Son. How do you deny the Father and the Son? By making the Father and the Son one, you make the Father the Son and the Son the Father. Therefore, you deny the Father and the Son. Because John 17:3 says, and this is life eternal, that they might know thee, the Father, the only true Alua, and Yahusha HaMashiach, whom thou hast sent. You have to accept the Father and the Son. If you deny that Yahusha is the Messiah and say Yahusha is Yahuwah, you deny the Father and the Son by putting both of them in one. You're anti-Messiah. You're antichrist. Now these are the people that you're listening to, people. Find a teacher who is not anti-Messiah. I'm begging you. If you have a teacher, looking at a teacher, find one that does not say Yahusha is Yahuwah. If you are currently with one that says Yahusha is Yahuwah, run. Because you're playing with the spirit of anti-Messiah, and that is the spirit of the prince of error, of Satan. You cannot by yourself battle Satan. Because if you choose the spirit of anti-Messiah, the Most High is not going to help you. Because already he has sent people to advise you, to show you the truth, and you're not hearing. All right? So, what time is it? 2:09. So we are going to look to you now. We're going to be speaking now about teachers. Again, the Most High is showing us about teachers. We're going to look at something very controversial here. And I bet you have never ever looked into this before. Well, yesterday or day before, while I was preparing this, it just came to me. We are going to show you different types of teachers that you have to be very wary of. We are going to help you in your task in seeking a teacher. And don't think I'm saying that you should come and be with me. I don't like, I don't want to say it. I do the will of the Father, but don't think I'm one. I want to let you know that I'm not one who wants to heap on people to me. Not at all. Because I know the trouble that that can be. And I don't like trouble. So when I'm saying this, I'm not trying to qualify myself. I too might be in these things here. You might see me in this and say, wait, but Kazakh is not right. This is for everyone. This is not for me qualifying myself above anyone. I'm not better than anyone. Let's look at different dangers in seeking out someone to lead you. The danger of a pastor or teacher that is married. I know many people might be looking at this and, but what is it? You're going to see it. Yes? You cannot get the best out of a pastor or teacher that is married. Impossible. Married. Impossible. You cannot get the best out of him. That is why the apostles, when Hamashiach called the apostles, he had to do what? He separated them from their families. They went and they lived in the open air. And they were with him. Yes? When they went on their journeys, they did not bring their wives with them. Because they had to be free to do what they want to do. A man that is married has to care for the different cares of his wife. So if he's even in charge of an assembly, he's looking about the assembly, but then the wife says, honey, this and that. He has to leave the cares of the assembly and go and take care of the cares of his wife. Let's look at it, though, by scriptures. Revelation 14:4, when it's speaking about the 144,000. These are they which are not defiled with women, for they are virgins. Why did he use the analogy of women and virgins? They were not defiled with women. They were not soiled or marred with women. Now, many people look at it and say it's figurative. It's figurative, yes, but why did he use the analogy of women and virgins? We're going to see. Woman, the meaning of woman, is a woman, specifically a wife. So this may be talking of more than a woman, it's speaking about a wife. These are they which were not defiled with wives. For they are virgin. What does this virgin mean? The word virgin there is Parthenos, which means an unmarried daughter. So if you look at Revelation 14:4, these are they which were not defiled with wives, for they are unmarried. We start to wonder now, the prize of the Most High is being compared to men who were not defiled with wives and who were unmarried. Wow, why did he say that? Let's look 1 Corinthians 7 to see the danger of a wife to a pastor or teacher caring for the world. 1 Corinthians 7 verse 4. And it says, for the wife hath not power of her own body, but the husband, and likewise also the husband hath not power of his own body, but the wife. Let's look at the ESV. It says, for the wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. Likewise, the husband does not have authority. Menzi, you must be listening. The husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. Now imagine a man who is married leading 100 people, and his wife has authority over his body. How can he be correctly guiding these 100 people when his wife has authority over his body? And the word says, the head of the woman is the man, and the head of the man is Hamashiach. So Hamashiach is supposed to be the head over this man, but this wife has authority, who should be in subjection to him, has authority over his body. What you have there, people, is a tug of war. And you people who are married, you know this tug of war that you have gone through when you are seeking to follow the way. You know the tug of war. The wife has a tug of war, because if she is with a husband who is unbelieving or is not strong in the faith, the husband is going to try to pull her his way to try to please him and to try to get her to do this and to do that. Likewise, the husband who has a wife who is not strong in the faith, and that wife has to be so sold out that she is under subjection to him. That is the only solution. The wife has to be totally under subjection to the husband, where the husband can go and do his thing without the wife there to disturb him. But we know the wives, and I was married, so I know how nagging a woman can be when they want what they want, when they desire their way. Yes? So that is why when Moses was going to lead the children of Israel, his wife and children were sent back because they would get in the way. Moses could not be leading that whole lot of children of Israel and have his wife and his children there. Yes? Exodus 4 verse 20. And Moses took his wife and his sons and set them upon an ass, and he returned to the land of Mitzrayim, and Moses took the rod of Alua in his hand. So he went back to Egypt. But then again in Exodus 18:5, it tells us that he sent back his children and his wife. Exodus 18:5. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife unto Moses into the wilderness, where he encamped at the mount of Alua. And he said unto Moses, I, thy father-in-law Jethro, am come unto thee, and thy wife and her 2 sons with her. Yes? So it was after Moses had reached a certain stage that the wife was brought back. Let's continue with the danger of a wife to a pastor or teacher. 1 Corinthians 7, verses 7 to 8. You're going to see it's the scriptures that is saying it. But it's probably most people are not bold to say it. If I have a wife, by the way, do you think I could be saying all of these things plainly? So many things. Even to talk about women in subjection, some things that some women hate me for speaking the truth. I couldn't be saying, because after this I'd have to be thinking, boy, I'd have to be going now to this woman now is going to be saying, why did you say that? That's not right. And this and that. And then I'll have to be putting up with the a screw face. And when you talk to them, they're like, they don't want to talk to you. That is the danger. When you have a true leader to follow that can really speak the truth and nothing but the truth. And by the way, this inspiration came about an experience this week with someone I was speaking to. And I saw, a wife that they call them, the first lady and everything, the wife of the pastor. And I saw this wife advocating for something very sinful. And I said to myself, the husband cannot effectively even rein in a wife that has a very strong personality. It's hard. So how can he lead effectively? 1 Corinthians 7:7. For I would that all men were even as I myself. But every man hath his proper gift of Alua, one after this manner and another after that. So Shaul is saying he wishes that everyone were like him, not having a partner. But he says every man hath his proper gift. So it's not that you cannot serve Alua, but it's that for a person to be a pastor, a shepherd, who is leading people, it is very hard for him to have a wife. But he will have his proper gift. The Most High will use him in whichever way he can. That is the Most High's will. But I'm telling you how difficult it is. The Most High will even use him to be a pastor. Who knows? But it will be difficult. And therefore, why I'm saying it's difficult, you are prone to error. And that pastor is prone to error because of the wife. If the wife is strong-willed, that man will not be able to say some things. He might only give you half the truth. He might even have to give you untruth. Some might be even tempted to give untruth in order to have peace in their lives, especially if that woman is nagging. You have some woman that will make your life a living hell if you turn against them or against their way. Verse 8, I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide as I. It is good. Why is Shaul saying it is good to remain unmarried? We have to ask ourselves, why? Let's go to verses 32 to 34, and we get more insights. But I would have you without carefulness. He that is unmarried careth for the things that belong to Yahuwah, how he may please at Yahuwah. You see it now, Menzi? When you are unmarried, your whole life can be dedicated to Yahuwah. Everything dedicated to Yahuwah. And I can put myself in it. I'm not justifying myself, but the reason I am able to even speak everything that the Most High gives me without fear or favor, it is because I am unmarried. I'm by myself. I have nobody, no woman to report to. No woman can come and tell me, why did you ask me, why did you say this or why did you say that? You offended me or whatever. And it also means that everything to do with Yahuwah, I can respond to. I can be a full-time. All right, we're back on. All right. All right, sorry about that. The internet went. All right. So the next verse. He that is married careth for the things that are of the world, how he may please his wife. What did we start off with? Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. Look at it carefully. Look at it carefully. The one that is married cares for the things that are of the world, so that he may please his wife. So you see the danger of someone who is married. There is difference also between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman careth for the things of Yahuwah, that she may be set apart both in body and in ruach. But she that is married, so it works both ways. But she that is married careth for the things of the world, how she may please her husband. So you cannot, when you're married, you cannot truly, fully serve the Most High unless both of you are totally sold out to the righteousness that is in Yahusha HaMashiach. All right, so that is one. When you are following people, you have to even know what kind of influence does his wife wield over him, because it will affect what is delivered. Another one of them is the danger of the love of money. Are these people who are teaching you loving money? Are they loving money? 1 Timothy 6, verses 3 to 12. Someone else saying something? 1 Timothy 6, verses 3 to 12. If any man teach otherwise and consent not to wholesome words, even the words of our master Yahusha HaMashiach, and to the doctrine which is according to holiness, he is proud, knowing nothing, but doting about questions and strifes of words, whereof cometh envy, strife, railing, evil surmising. People, let me show you something that's happening in this world. There are people who are not preaching the true Yahusha HaMashiach. Yes? The Jesus Christ of Christianity, Yahusha of the Hebrew Israelites, that's not the true version of Yahusha HaMashiach. The Yahusha of Hebrew Israelites is the one that sits by and you just obey the law and you don't walk as he walked, and he's happy, comfortable with you not walking as he walked. That's the Hebrew Israelite version of the Messiah. Just merely mentioning his name at times. They just mention his name. Yeah. The true Yahusha, you walk as he walked. Our entire lives are focused on being like him. That's the true Yahusha. So it says, if you are not preaching this, then you will be proud, knowing nothing, but doting about questions and strifes of words. If you go, people in the community online today, nothing but debates, strifes about words, pride, debate, this debating this, that I want to take on this, everything you ask them, debate. That is why someone asked me, why don't you go and talk to the Hebrew Israelites? The first thing you say to them, they ask you, do you want to debate? They don't care about the truth. They want debate. Why? Debate brings followers, it brings viewers, it brings money. As a matter of fact, with the debate today, you have to pay the debaters. Someone has to sponsor the debaters and they are paid to do the debates. It's all about money. It's not about Yahusha. It's not about the truth. Listen to if you are one of those who are following this debate world, because it comes up in my feed all the time. He is proud, knowing nothing, but doting about questions and strifes of words, whereof cometh envy, strife, railings, evil surmisings, perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds, and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness, from such withdraw thyself. But hear the truth now. But godliness with contentment is great gain. So holiness with contentment, without any even thinking about gaining anything, that is great gain. Verse 12. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. How many of them are preaching this? How many of them are teaching this? But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men into in destruction and perdition. How many of your teachers out there, people, you have to examine us, test us. How many of us are teaching to have food and raiment, to be there with content? They don't want to preach that, because then you will check your money that you are actually giving them. You have to be of the mind that you are speaking the truth, and you know that when you say this, people are going to say, okay, he says with food and raiment, so I'm not going to give him anything. You have to know that there are going to be evil minds, and this is evil, by the way. These are evil minds who are going to be saying these things, because these minds never had the mind or the heart to really give in the first place. So you're looking for an excuse not to give. So you have to know that there will be people who will be doing this, and in doing so, you will lose people giving you anything. You have to be willing not to have anything. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil. So you now are going to be taught and following someone who loves money. The root of all evil is following that person. How do you know? How do you think you are going to be brought in the way of righteousness? Which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. Hey. While some coveted after, they have erred from the faith. So these people who are teaching you, who you are following, are coveting after money, erring from the faith, and you are listening to them teaching you. Blind, being led by the blind. If they love money, they are going to err. The Bible is telling you plainly here. But thou, O man of Alua, let's see what the man of Alua will do. Flee these things and follow after righteousness. These are the things you follow after, not gain. Follow after righteousness, godliness or holiness, faith, love, patience, meekness. Fight the good fight of faith. Lay hold on eternal life, whereunto thou art also called, and hast professed a good profession before many witnesses. Eternal life, faith. Leave the money alone and focus on life. Money does not come with life. Leave the money alone. And stop following those people who love money, who follow money, who emphasize money. By the way, we're not telling you not to give to whomever your heart is inclined to give. We are not saying that. But we are saying you have to judge people by their desire for lucre. Desire for money. So let's look at the love of money and the prince of error to illustrate what we're talking about. The love of money and the prince of error. That is the Testament of Judah, chapter 19, verse 1 to 20, verse 3, page 37. The love of money and the prince of error. What did I say? Chapter 19, verse 1. All right, let's begin there. The love of money and the prince of error. My children, love of money leads to idolatry. Because once they are led astray by money, they designate as gods those who are not gods. It makes anyone who has it go out of his mind. Anyone who has the money goes out of his mind. No, you have to judge people who are leading you people. On account of money, I utterly lost my children, and had it not been for the penitence of my flesh, the humility of my soul, and the prayers of my father Jacob, I would have met death childless. But the Elohim of my fathers, who is compassionate and merciful, pardoned me because I acted in ignorance. The prince of error blinded me, and I was ignorant. You see? On account of money, the prince of error blinded me, and I was ignorant. These are people who are teaching you, who are supposed to have what? Knowledge. It says if they love money, the prince of error is going to blind them, and they are going to be ignorant. If they are ignorant, they are going to be teaching you error.
Out of the abundance
of the heart. The prince of error blinded me, and I was ignorant as a human being, as flesh, in my corrupt sins, until I learned of my own weaknesses after supposing myself to be invincible. So these people are there preaching and teaching, loving money, being blinded in their ignorance, supposing that they are well chosen and invincible. I'm telling you that this thing as a teacher is not easy. Not easy. You could be here, I could be here blinded in ignorance, thinking that I'm speaking the truth, That is why we have to search and dig and just follow the word to the letter. Follow the word, follow the instructions, follow Yahusha. Or else we are easily swept away. So understand, my children, that two ruachoth await an opportunity with humanity. The ruach of truth and the ruach of error. These two spirits are the two spirits that are given in the shepherd of Hermas, which is called the spirit of iniquity, the angel of iniquity, and the angel of righteousness. So two of them await opportunity. They are waiting to get you. The rock of truth or the rock of error. In between is the conscience of man, which inclines as it will. So the conscience is in the middle. This is why we pray, we preach about having a lively conscience, a good conscience. Having a good conscience, because you have the ruach of truth and you have the ruach of error, and your conscience is in the middle, inclining as it will. So as your conscience leads you, that is where you go. The things of truth and the things of error are written in the affections of man, each of whom Yahuwah knows. The affections of man. That is why the word says what? Set your affection on things above and not on the things of the earth. When you set your affections on things above, you will incline yourselves to the things of truth. You will incline yourselves to the spirit of truth and not the spirit of error. When you incline yourselves and your affections is on things of the earth, then you will be led by the spirit of error. Bam. So, the danger of following someone who is proud. That's another thing. There are many proud believers out there. Many of us out there who are proud and teaching people. Many of us proud and teaching people. The danger of following someone who is proud. Zephaniah 3, verses 11 to 12. We live in a world today of the proud believer. The world is overwhelmed with proud believers. Zephaniah 3, verse, what did I say? 11 to 12. You're speaking about the end times, right? Verse 10 says, from beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, my suppliants, even the daughter of my dispersed, shall bring mine offering. In that day shalt thou not be ashamed for all thy doings, wherein thou hast transgressed against me. For then I will take away out of the midst of thee them that rejoice in thy pride. So the proud shall be removed from among us. The proud will not be given his word of truth. And thou shalt no more be haughty because of my set apart mountain. I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of Yahuwah. No proud person will be left. So if you have a proud teacher who is teaching you, you have a problem. James 4, 4-7. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with Alua? So if you love the world, it means that you are an enemy of Alua. No man who loves this world is a friend of Alua. Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of Alua. Look at it very carefully. The importance of not loving the world nor the things of this world. So if you are being led or instructed by someone who loves this present world, and you know them, these are those people who won't even examine the thought of fleeing out of the midst of Babylon. These are they who will tell you, oh, we'll sit and wait for the Most High. They don't even want to examine it. Because if they examined it, they would go and check our playlist, or flee out of the midst of Babylon playlist. They will see the depths of the things that the Most High has revealed to us. And by the way, someone came to me the other day and was saying that, but you said that we should flee out of the cities. The teachings here on Just a Word are progressive. We told you, and we tell you from the beginning, we are not Christian pastors who went to theology schools. We are idiots, fools that the Most High picked up, and little by little is giving us His Word. So when He gives us His understanding today, we will teach that which He gave us. Another time you will come and He gives us another higher understanding, and we teach that. Now you will see, you will hear us with the highest understanding that you have gotten, and then you will hear us with the beginning understanding, the one that we just got when we were learning. And you will say, but how come you said, flee out of the cities? Yes? Here's how it works. The Most High tells us to flee out of the cities, yes? But then He tells us to flee out of Babylon. And then He tells us where to flee to. Now, when He tells us where to flee to, it is not still not to stay in the cities. It is still to come out of the cities. But it is just that now, this revelation now is where we should flee to. So we are given different levels of teaching from the Most High, because here we are taught. Right here I'm teaching you, I am being taught at the same time. So that is how it is. So friendship with the world is enmity with Alua. So if we love this world, we are the enemies of the Most High. No two ways about it. So when there's people refuse to even mention, or even consider fleeing out of Babylon, no, you have to start thinking. These people are not right. Because they are friendship with the world. Because if you reject the world and you don't love the world, when someone says flee out of Babylon, you say, yes, I'm so happy to come out of this world. I was just wondering, how am I going to live in this world? And now you say flee out of Babylon. That gives me an opportunity to come out of all of this mess. But the person who loves this world is the person who will be calculating here, calculating there, questioning there, questioning there. Why, this, and but that, and but that, and but. Loving this world. You're the enemy of the Most High. And you are there rejoicing in Yahuwah. Oh, Yahuwah is so good. He's been so great to me. Oh, he's so great. That's the Most High. You could be in a strong delusion. Anyway. Let me go. So here's another one now. The danger of hypocrites, self-righteous, self-justified. Because some people might even look at us here. Oh, just a word teaching about these things. He's a hypocrite. He's self-righteous. He's self-justified. As I said, judge for yourself. Page 174. Now, all I can tell you, the reason we teach these things is because of what has been given to us by the Most High. We teach what has been given to us by the Most High. Uh, 62. Yahusha said, you are betrayed by those who preach one thing and practice another. No, you have to watch very carefully to see who are the hypocrites who preach one thing and practice another. And look at all the traits that are being said here, and you judge us as teachers. They delight in being seen in prominent places and think the misguided adulations poured on them signifies greatness. Foolish people follow their ways and copy their pretensions. So you have to look on the people who exalt themselves by their numbers, by how popular they are. And it says, foolish people follow their ways and copy their pretensions. Foolish people follow numbers. These people are not least among the hidden war makers. You are deceived by hypocrites and the self-righteous and led into error by the self-justified. You see the deception? Hypocrites, those who do one thing and do another. The self-righteous are those who are righteous in themselves in what they do, setting up their own standard of righteousness, not walking in the righteousness that is in Yahusha. and those who are self-justified, who are justified by the works that they do. Those who should watch over you set snares for your feet. Look at this. Those who should watch over you set snares for your feet. And many are those who say, heed my words, but not my deeds. Those who set themselves up over the people, or who attain positions of authority, freely eat the fruits of success, but avoid the responsibility of setting an example of goodness. I tell you, cast these people out. So when you're on the internet and you see people teaching and preaching, and you hear them cursing, and you hear them ill-tempered, angry, easy, curse you, quarrel, it says, cast these people out. These people have to manifest in some shape or form, or likeness, some likeness, even a little likeness of trying to be like Yahusha. Yeah? They avoid the responsibility of setting an example of goodness. So the people who you teach have to set an example, who teach you have to set an example of goodness. So, this is a long one. What time is it? 2:47. Let me see if I can do this part quickly. Because this is now overcoming the spirit of error. How to overcome the spirit of error. All right? You have to be willing to suffer in the flesh. Let's go. We know already 1 John 2:16-17. The lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life. To overcome, before we even go into this, first of all, you have to deny self. We don't even put this here because that is a given. You first have to deny self. We said it at the beginning. But we must also have a willingness to suffer in the flesh. When you deny yourself, you have to be willing to suffer in the flesh. For as much then as Hamashiach had suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind, for he that had suffered in the flesh had ceased from sin, that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men, but to the will of Yahuwah. To be able to do the will of Yahuwah, to be able to overcome the spirit of error, you have to arm yourself with the mind to suffer in the flesh. Again, we're going to do this quickly, because time is going. You study it for yourself. It would be good if you could watch this and slide and put it to still and study it. Right? Overcoming the ruach of error. Put on the new man. That is in Colossians 3:1-17. Put on the new man. We will not go through it for the sake of time. Study it for yourself. All right? Overcoming the spirit of antimessiah. Love and self-sacrifice through the ruach. 1 John 4:7-17. 1 John 3:15-24. Go and study that for yourselves, please, people. All right? Overcoming the spirit of error, anti-messiah. Come out of her, my people. We have dealt with this many times before. Come out of her is how you escape from the spirit of anti-messiah. And we have been speaking about it several times, about fleeing out of the midst of Babylon, how it is the way to get out, and how you know the people who do not want to flee, how you know that they love the world. If you do not love the world, it will be nothing for you to flee out of the midst of Babylon. Okay? So, we end by showing you that Zion will be redeemed in truth. We spoke a lot about truth, and we spoke about the truth. If you do not love the truth, you will be sent a strong delusion. We left this time to show you that Zion, in the end, we will be redeemed in truth. Zechariah 8:3-8. Zechariah 8:3-8. Thus saith Yahuwah, I am Jerusalem, and Jerusalem shall be called a city of truth. So those who are not of the truth cannot go there. That means if you love the world, you cannot go there. It is those who reject the world who will be in Zion. And the mountain of Yahuwah of hosts, the holy mountain. Thus saith Yahuwah Sabaoth, there shall yet old men and old women dwell in the streets of Jerusalem, and every man with his staff in his hand for very old age. And the streets of the city shall be full of boys and girls playing in the streets thereof. Thus saith Yahuwah Sabaoth, if it be marvelous in the eyes of the remnant of this people in these days, should it also be marvelous in mine eyes, saith Yahuwah Sabaoth. Thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, behold, I will save my people from the east country and from the west country, and I will bring them, and they shall dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and they shall be my people, and I will be their Alua in truth and in righteousness. In truth and in righteousness. Our salvation is salvation in truth. Verses 16 to 17. These are the things that ye shall do. Speak ye every man the truth to his neighbor. Execute the judgment of truth and peace in your gates. And let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor, and love no false oath, which is the opposite of truth. For all these things that I hate, saith Yahuwah. It is truth that gets us into the kingdom. We cannot get into the kingdom unless we hate and despise this world and are willing to come out of her. Revelation, Zephaniah 3, verse 8 to 20. Don't know if I'll do so much. Zephaniah 3, verse 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahuwah, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. For then will I turn to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of Yahuwah, to serve him with one consent. From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia my suppliants, even the daughter of my dispersed, shall bring mine offering. I did this before, about 11 and 12. The remnant shall not do iniquity. Sing, verse 14, sing, O daughter of Zion, shout, O Yashral, be glad and rejoice with all that the heart, O daughter of Jerusalem. Yahuwah hath taken away thy judgment, he has cast out thine enemy. The king of Yashral, even Yahuwah, is in the midst of thee. Thou shalt not see evil any more. In that day it shall be said to Jerusalem, fear thou not, and to Zion, let not thine hands be slack. Yahuwah thy Alua in the midst of thee is mighty. He will save. He will rejoice over thee with joy. He will rest in his love. He will joy over thee with singing. I will gather them that are sorrowful for the solemn assembly, who are of thee, to whom the reproach of it was a burden. Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee, and I will save her that halteth, and gather her that is driven out, and I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. At that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I gather you, for I will make you a name and a praise among all people of the earth, when I turn back your captivity before your eyes, saith Yahuwah. Yada, Yahuwah, that is the Most High, turning back our captivity. But those of us who are liars and love lie cannot partake of this. Revelation 21, verse 8. The truth. And remember, you cannot be in the truth if you are loving this world. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. So that which we just showed you about the Most High redeeming his people, it is not for liars. It is for those who are in truth, Let's get confirmation, Revelation 22:15, and we'll end here. Barak are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter into the gates into the city. For without are dogs and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. If you love or you make a lie, you cannot enter into the kingdom. It is not for you. You have to love the truth. And those who love the truth are those who are not going to love this world, neither the things that are of this world. If you love this world, the love of the Father will not be in you, and his words will not be in you, and his truth will not be in you. Yada Yahuwah. Only hope this was edifying to you. Only hope it was edifying and you got something from it. All right? What is happening here? Let me get this thing here. Yeah, only hope you got something from it. Let me go and see YouTube. All right, any questions in the Zoom chat? Any questions on YouTube? Going there to investigate. Only hope that the feed was feed was live. Yeah, still live. YouTube, going there to investigate. Let me go and see what's on it. Well, as I expected, not much today. Feed was all right. It is a joy being here. Thanks for the warm welcome. Yeah, still live. The Messiah is a necessary buffer between man and the Most High, lest we die. Moses played the same role, and you know what happened to him during the Exodus. Feed was. What are some less obvious indicators if someone loves the world? Man, that is a question I don't even know what to answer. It is obvious when people love the world. I think probably by the end of this, you should have seen. The Messiah is a necessary buffer between man and the Most High. When you love the world as a believer, you will not be willing to give up to him during the Exodus. Fleeing out of Babylon will be a problem to you. Less obvious coming out of this world will be a problem to you. You want to stay, you want to remain. United States all of a sudden is not Babylon. United States all of a sudden is not a bad place to be. United States all of a sudden when you love the world as a believer, you will not be willing to give up. I see so many people like this. They try to justify United States, and I'm saying, but these people cannot see the wicked evil place that they live. No, because what? They love the world. United States all of a sudden is not Babylon. United States all of a sudden is not a bad place to be. United States all of a sudden. A less obvious indicator could be revealed by tracking where your money is spent. Yeah? We can be in the world but not of the world, wherever we may be, because daily deny myself and stay in the world. Pray. Foolishness! They love the world. There is a dispensation. The dispensation, the time is now to flee out of the midst of Babylon. Yes? A less obvious indicator could be revealed by tracking where your money is spent. The time is now. We can be in the world but not of to flee out of the midst of Babylon. Because daily deny myself and stay in the world. Pray. Foolishness! Okay. There is a dispensation. Okay. The dispensation, the time is now to flee out of the midst of Babylon. Is it echoing now? Obvious indicator could be revealed by tracking where your money is spent. Is it still echoing? The time is now. We can be in the world but not of to flee out of the midst of Babylon. Because daily deny myself and stay in the world. Oh. Foolishness. Oh no, it's something. Oh. I know, I got it. I had this playing while I was on. All right, thanks. Yeah. So being in the world and not of the world. Now is not that time. You cannot be in this world and not of the world again. Because they are coming with their mark. That was long before. They are coming with their mark and their number. Right? And I would suggest you go look at our previous teaching, that no man may buy and sell, to get more insight into that alone. That in the world and not of the world is of a person who loves this world. If you do not love this world, you'll be willing and waiting. How can I get out of this world? You'll be asking, how can I come out? But if you have to resort to we are in the world and not of the world, that's what Christians say. There's no difference. And Christians we know love this world because their religion teaches them the love of this world. That's what Christians say. Ah, no wonder the apostolic. That's where that came from. That's what they think. Oh, we are in the world and not of the world. Yes. And they're going after every single carnal thing, saying that they're not of the world. It's time for the children of Judah, the house of Judah, to come out of her. All right? Yeah, polygyny was the word that I was looking for. All right. All right. Oh, there's another. Brian Bino says, not so simple to flee if you have age dependence needing special care. Well, you stay. You stay there. All right? The Most High's command is to flee out of the midst of Babylon. That's his command. It's not up to me, but it's up to you to decide what you want to do. I cannot say anything on that. All right. Please define wilderness. Wilderness can be a specific place as well as it can be a place of isolation. It can spiritually refer to a place of isolation as well as it can refer to a literal wilderness. In prophecy, it is used interchangeably. In the book of Ezekiel, it tells you about the wilderness of the people. The wilderness of the people in Ezekiel, this is why a lot of people hear about the second the people. It is a place of isolation where people will be and people will be pitted against each other. And then it is the survival of the fittest. Who survives will go through. All right. I hear a lot of teachers saying Yahuwah is Yahusha. It's happening more and more. Also, the same teaching, the virgin birth. Yes, of course. We have a teaching here about the virgin birth. I did it a long time ago. Yahusha is Yahuwah. It is increasing because the spirit of antimessiah is very active. Okay? All right, so those were the questions on YouTube. Not much for this week. I think it's because we were going in and out and we're having technical difficulties. Very sorry about that. All praises Yahuwah's word is king. All praises about to Yahuwah. Yes. So many people, yes, Yahuwah's word is king. Many people see the word wilderness and they think, as last week we looked at mountain and showed that mountain, fleeing to the mountain is actually fleeing under the protection of the Most High. Not a literal mountain, but fleeing under the protection, the Psalm 91 protection of the Most High. Wilderness, of course, also not necessarily speaking of a literal wilderness. We here witness a sort of wilderness when we were in the wilderness of the people, when he brought people together from all walks of life and put us together, and we saw the true wilderness of the people, of how it was similar to the children of Israel coming out of Egypt, the different experiences that we went through, the hardships, the ups, the downs, the bad, the sad, the good, the bad, everything that we went through, the wilderness of the people. All right, so let me look in the Zoom chat to see if there are any questions. What he says, It is different from the desert. As I said, there can be different wildernesses. I don't know. Let me go and see what is... where are we now? I'm trying to... Shabbat Shalom. We are called to expose evil, yeah. The scripture is clear about Yahusha being fully man, not demigod. Oh yes, they're called Yasharal original music. Yes, they sing some nice music, but some of them is glorifying Yahusha as Yahuwah. Yeah, I never wanted to call the name. I never wanted to call the name. I shouldn't have called it anyway, but I was just reading this. All right. Numbers 23:19, this is clear. What is Numbers 23:19 saying? Numbers 23:19. Alua is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent. Hath he said, and shall he not do it? Or hath he spoken, and shall he not make it good? Yada Yahuwah is not a man that he should lie. Polygyny, married to more than one woman, yeah? Can you give an example of the third evil ruach of strife? Of the third evil ruach of strife? Liver and gall. The liver and gall, the different emotions work through different parts of our bodies. I don't exactly know them, but strife works through the liver and the gall. So those people who get sick with their livers, usually people who go through a lot of strife. So an example of strife, we know strife that people have. Yeah? Striving against each other. People who are quarrelsome. There are people who just love arguments and love to quarrel and fuss. That's the ruach of strife right there. The false teachers blend many truths with one or two lies. They wrap a lie with a truth. Yeah. Okay. Boy, Anthony, you're not ashamed to call the names. I'm not calling any more names. It's a sin to balance the love for the word and the world at the same time. Yes, it is a sin to balance the love for the word and the world. There is no balance. That balance came from Christianity. Christianity told us that we have to balance the word with the world. No such thing. It's the word. And with food and raiment be content in the world. Yes? Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. So it's the word and rejecting the world. No balancing. It's having one, and you see, when you have the word, you are going to reject the world. Because the word is going to convict you into knowing that the world is evil. And knowing that the world is evil, your conscience that is between the spirit of truth and the spirit of error is going to direct you into rejecting the world so that you can reject the error. So it is no balance. It's one-sided. It's the word and the word. The word and the word. Yeah. Someone on YouTube asked, how would the sick and afflicted flee? Will they be destroyed or left behind? I have no idea. How the sick and afflicted will flee. What I do know, the Most High says he has left an open door. The Most High can do anything. He can heal the sick, heal the blind. He can even raise the dead. So instead of figuring what about the sick and afflicted, is the sick and afflicted walking in 100% righteousness, totally seeking out the Most High, and have the desire to flee? Because if you don't have the desire, the Most High will not give you the will. If you have the desire, He will make a way. He will make a way. That's I know. So I don't know how He will do it, but I know for one thing that He can do anything. He can heal the sick if the sick has the desire. Yes? When the scripture is talking people being healed and Yahuwah's people doing greater works than the apostles did, when will that be? Before or after fleeing? Because the other teachings speak about the false spirits that are working miracles. So when will the real people rise to heal and do greater works? I don't know. The Most High will do what He does in His own time. You see, the problem is trying every single thing to try to figure out the Most High in every way. Everything we want to know, we want to understand everything. It will not go like that. The Most High is the most complex being that exists. His ways are past finding out. You can never program the Most High. So, when He speaks about the false spirits working miracles, in this end time, in His false assembly, in the church, the Babylon's church, that is where you have all of the miracles being worked in Babylon's church. You will see an arena full of people in Africa. And in the name of JC, all sorts of miracles are being done. This is what it's talking about. But as to when the Most High will pour out His ruach upon His people, it says in Joel, in the end, He will pour out His ruach upon all flesh. As to when He will pour out His ruach on His people, we don't know. Okay? Let me go back to YouTube to see if anything else. So what happened to love your brother as yourself? What does that mean? Love your brother as yourself. I don't understand where that question is coming from. Love your brother as yourself. What is it pertaining to? What question did I answer about Brian Beno? Oh, as I said to you, the decision is up to you. It is between you and the Most High. I cannot tell you what to do, Brian Beno. The Most High told me to flee. We flee. He instructed me to tell people to flee. I'm instructing people what He instructed me. Those finer details are between you and Him as to whether if you have people depending on you or not. If you want to stay with them, if that is how your spirit is led, that is between you and the Most High. Don't ask me about loving your neighbor as yourself. Do what you are led to do. Don't let it be said, Kazakh told you to leave people they're sick. And don't let it be said that Kazakh told you to stay with people who are sick. I am saying nothing of the sort, neither to the affirmative nor to the negative. I am saying it is between you and the Most High. Okay? Yeah. Oh, we still have echo. I don't know what's happening. Someone asking, is Yahusha's spirit divine? I won't even go into that. I won't answer that. If the whole world is under Babylon, how can we seek where to escape? For us, Edgar C., the Most High has shown us where to escape. The whole world is not going to know where to escape. Let me give you an understanding, you see? That is why we say flee Babylon is not for everyone. It's not for everyone. Let me show you something. Let me put a few verses together and let you understand something about where to escape. Edgar C. Let's go. Luke 21, 34. Luke 21. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. Edgar, if you are caught up in excess in the greed of Babylon, in acquiring the things of Babylon, caught up in the rudiments of Babylon, in the ways of Babylon, in the drunkenness, caught up in the lifestyle of Babylon, and the cares of this life, focus on the cares of Babylon, the cares of life that Babylon brings to you, then fleeing out of the Babylon will not be for you, because that day will come upon you unaware. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. The reason most people don't know where to flee, because they have not been accounted worthy to escape. Because probably they are still caught up in that. Yes? The Most High has to find us worthy before we can escape. Revelation. Huh? Yes. Leave the door open. Revelation. It doesn't matter. But it's going to echo. Revelation 3. Revelation 3, verse 7. And to the Malach, to the assembly in Philadelphia, write, these things saith he that is Kadosh, he that is true, he that hath the key of David, he that openeth and no man shutteth, and shutteth and no man openeth. I know thy works. Behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it, for thou hast a little strength, and hast kept my word, and hast not denied my name. These who have works, who have strength, who have kept his word, and have not denied his name, an open door is there for them. He will tell them where to go. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience. No. Keeping the word of my patience. This is not a simple thing. These are the people who are going to have the open door. It's going to be righteous people, striving for righteousness, diligently seeking the Most High. I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So these are the people who are going to be kept and shown where to flee. Okay? Now for us, the Most High has shown us where to flee. And so that is what we cannot tell you anything else but that the Most High has shown us, and we follow what the Most High has said, and everybody else who doesn't want to hear what we have to say, that's their business. Any thoughts on debating Christians to show them the truth? Is it considered being quarrelsome? I don't do debates, SB Phil. The Most High has called me to teach, not to debate. So, I will talk to them and show them when I meet up on a Christian. You know what I tell Christians about it? They have told me that it's been very most effective. Whenever I'm trying to teach a Christian, and they start talking, everything, you're not going to get anywhere. They are going to be repeating what they have learned. You're not going to get anywhere. They have to do what? Listen. So whenever I'm speaking to a Christian, and they start speaking or repeating their Christianity, I said, shh, 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 shh. All that you're telling me, I know. But what I have to tell you, you do not know. So who needs to listen to who? Listen to something that you do not know. Then when I'm finished, you can judge for yourself between what you think you know and what you are going to hear know. And so then I start precept upon precept upon precept upon precept. And when I'm done, almost always, unless this is a real stubborn Christian, they will get what I'm saying. So I don't debate Christians at all. All right. All right. Abarim Rahuim, you didn't say something wrong, but this spirit divine is another way of waking up this Yahusha is Yahuwah thing. It is, people know what we teach. I won't want to go into this, especially on a day like today. Maybe one a day when we're dealing with that. But it totally takes us off, and I don't want to go off into anything else. All right? So you didn't say something wrong. Yeah. Yeah, so as I said, that is how I deal with Christians. And I remember even Christians that I have spoken with, they always go back to that time. I remember when I was talking, and Brother C said, shh, and listen. And I listened, and then I got the understanding. But when they are there talking and you telling them something, and then say, but, and they are coming with things that their pastors told them, and their pastor told me this, and pastor told me that, you'll never get anywhere. It's a weariness of the Ruach. Wearisomeness of the Spirit. All right? Yada Yahuwah. All right. So this, let me just answer. I don't want to go and not answer Abari Rahuim. Sometimes the question has no place, but let me just answer it. This thing about Yahusha being divine, I don't know what they mean by that. So I will just tell you what I believe that Yahusha is as according to the scripture. I am not going to follow Christians speaking about this divine, that pagan word. Yahusha was a man who was given the Spirit of the Most High. Let me just go in the scriptures, so some of them I will find quickly. John 3:34. All right, so let's begin with 1 Timothy 2, verse 5. For there is one Alua and one mediator between Alua and men, the man Hamashiach Yahusha. All right? The man Yahusha, Hamashiach Yahusha. So he was a man. Establish that. Romans 1 verse 3. Concerning his son Yahusha HaMashiach, our master, which was made of the seed of David according to the flesh. And the seed there actually means sperma, which means offspring, lineage of David through, and we know the lineage is through the father, according to the flesh. Okay? But this man was given the Ruach of Yahuwah without measure. John 3:34. For he whom Alua had sent speaketh the words of Alua, for Alua giveth not the Ruach by measure unto him, So this was a man who was given the full measure of his father's ruach. Yes? Now when he was given the full measure of his father's ruach, then when he died, the Father raised him up again and brought him up to sit at his right hand to make intercession for us. Yes? To make intercessions for us. But in the book of Revelation, Revelation 1, verse 18. Verse 17, and when I saw him, I fell at his feet as dead, and he said, he laid his right hand upon me, saying unto me, fear not, I am the first and the last, I am he that liveth and was dead. And behold, I am alive forevermore. So be it. And have the keys of hell and of death. I am he that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore. That is what I believe of a Mashiach. He was a man who was dead, who died, who was raised and brought back to life in the resurrection, and he now has eternal life to live forevermore. That is what I believe about the Messiah. As to this thing about whether it's divine or not, that is a Christian word in which Christians will argue in Christian lines. I am not a Christian. So I just speak what is laid on my heart. All right? All right. Yada Yahuwah. Yahusha received the full dosage of the Ruach. We, his brethren, yes, because he's the firstborn among many brethren, and we also are his brethren, have a partial dose. That's the difference between him and us, but we are all human beings. The man, Yahusha HaMashiach. All right? So, that's how I see it. Anyway, thanks for letting me know. I just don't want to follow in anti-Mashiach spirit, so that's why I asked. But if you are willing, could you make a video explaining the 7 spirits? The 7 spirits, are they perfect? What is that? Could you make a... When you're writing things, you have to write clearly, because I am an idiot here. I can't read what you are saying unless it's perfectly laid out. I see. But if Yahuwah willing, could you make a video explaining the 7 spirits? Are they perfect? I don't understand that. The 7 spirits, are they perfect? I don't understand that. At all. At all, at all. Anyway, I hope that explanation served its purpose. 3.5 hours. Time to go now. So thank you all for listening. I heard that it was a bumpy ride on YouTube, but we are sorry. That is why I am actually recording these things and actually have to be saving them. I don't know. I have to be saving them because we know, and it has been our experience, that these people on YouTube, they take down the channels. We don't know when they will be taking down whatever we have. So we have them stored up to bring them someplace, all right? All right. So thank you all for watching on YouTube. And sorry for the technical difficulties. Sorry for the power cuts and all of that. So sorry. And what can I say? But, shalom.